Hey, and welcome back to Coding Out Loud. I'm JT, and thanks for joining me. Today, we're going to get some more progress made on the work that we started on last week's stream, where we were building out a new feature for my site called StubSquad. And to give you a kind of recap of what we were doing, right now, when you sign into your account through StubSquad, and you start and you want to create a new season, you end up on this page. And so the first thing you do is you'd start typing the name of your team. So let's say Calgary Flames, like me. What we're trying to do here is we're trying to fetch the graphical logos for the leagues that show up here. So if you were to start typing new, there's going to be some NFL teams, some NHL teams. And so basically we want to go grab the logos from an API that we can use to make this look a little better. So on our to-do list, we can kind of go over what we did last week and then where we're trying to get to today. So first of all, we updated our season class to have this idea of a logo URI property since it didn't before. We created this fetch logo class helper with a handle method, which takes in some kind of model that implements the has logo interface and a path to where the current public image is, so like the one on the internet, and then it'll call the save logo method on that model, which it has to have because it implements that interface. And we basically say where we want to, and this should actually be the public path, not the S3 path. So HTTP example. Whatever, example.org/image.png or something. And that will go get the logo from the internet and save it to S3. So we also found and subscribed to an API service. We reviewed how they structure their data for those seasons. We can actually mark this one as complete, actually. We have not written a fetcher to grab that data, so we'll get into that pretty quick here first, although we have some logic from our team fetcher that we can probably extract to a common pattern, and which will go and grab the logo, push it into S3, and then make it accessible on the front end. And then we'll extract what we have as the current logic out to the sports team class. But like I said, we'll kind of have to refactor a bunch of this stuff. So, and then obviously once we've got all this done, we want to actually display the logo in the search bar. So that's kind of where we're at right now. I have not done basically any prep work before this, so we can basically just dive in. So right now, this is this fetch logo class here. It basically will take in a list of leagues. It can track this list of leagues, and this is this handle method that we want it to that does all the kind of heavy lifting. So right now, this is very league centric, which is what we kind of did last stream, and we'll basically refactor this out to the season class. So I think that's probably going to be our first task here. So let's open up our season class. Okay, and split it to the right. Okay, so what do we got here? This is going to do this, is it? Let's just change this font size permanently. Font. Appearance, editor, color scheme font. Let's make this 18, 19. Sure. Okay, so there's not much in here. It's got all the relationships to the different models that it's related to, a scope, and a couple of simple methods. It's got a couple of methods that we added last time. This get logo search query attribute. So this is where when you try and find the league, this is what it's going to search by. And then the actual saving the logo, right now it's just returning true. We'll have to implement that logic in a bit here. But these two methods come from this the has logo interface. And actually, let's make this 20. All right, so what do we need to do first here? Let's go back to our list. So write a fetcher to grab that data. So I think, do we want to refactor first? Kind of think we do. And what I'm thinking is right now, this is very league centric. So we're going to want to genericize it, because this will just be fetch data, because this this fetch logo is basically going to have to be extremely generic. So it's basically just going to have to fetch data, and then effectively save the logo, because leagues have a different API that they have to hit than the team API. And so we just want a generic thing where we can call a fetch logo and it'll fetch the data. And then once it's fetched that data, which will be specific to that model, so the season will have some logic to get its logos, teams will have its own logic to get their logos. And then once they've figured out the exact URL for the specific instance of that model that we're looking at, we then just want to save it, which would then basically go out to S3, save it in a specific path, and then return it to the database so that we have a link to that, the URL in S3. So basically, fetch data should also do this stuff, and then it should do this save logo kind of thing all by itself. So it should be super generic. So right now, let's go. Actually, I'm gonna change this to so handle is going to call. I really don't like fetch logo, fetch data. That seems redundant. Do we even like the word fetch logo? And I know that the kind of running joke is that, one of the hardest things programmers have is to name things, and it's so true. What do we want to call this? Do we want to call it fetch logo? Because it's doing more than fetching. It's fetching and saving, and I don't like compound things like that. So, class. I mean, I guess for right now, it doesn't really matter. Let's just say, let's change this to function. This is going to be process. This is going to handle. All of this is going to go into here. And we're going to call model process. Okay, and so right now, this doesn't exist, obviously, because it's right here. That's okay. I also want to change the has logo interface to require that it have a function called process. And what is this function going to do? It's going to fetch the leagues. It's going to find the league. Okay, so this is going to have it's going to return the URL. So we're going to say public URI equals that. And then this is just going to return that. Okay, so we're going to process a model. It's going to be a has logo model. And then, what's it barking at? No return. Okay, so this is going to return a string. Okay. What is the problem here? Access to an undefined property. Okay, for right now, I'm not super concerned about that. We will worry about the PHP stand issues later. And okay, so it's going to process and go get the URI, and then it's going to save the URI. I think that makes a lot of sense. So we're going to say back to the has logo. It's going to take a has logo model. It's going to return a string. Okay. Okay, so when we call this handle function, it's going to call the process model, that process function. That process function is going to go in the league specific manner. It's going to go fetch the list of leagues. It's going to find our specific league, the one that we're searching for, and this we'll fix in a minute. This yellow squiggly, because this is going to be moved to the model and it'll already have that, so that's fine. Yeah, so it's going to fetch the list of leagues from the API, and all that does is put them into the cache. Okay. And then the league is going to find the league based on what we're searching for. So that'll be this logo search query, which in the league term is going to just return its full name. And then this league function is going to, sorry, the find league is going to look through that cached list of leagues and return the actual league instance. That's going to be passed to the get logo URI, which then we've also written this for. It's going to go and reach out to the API specifically for that specific league. And then it's going to, this return value is the str badge item that's returned as part of the league up here. So if we go into our terminal and we say p filter fetch logos test, season contains one abstract method, therefore must be declared abstract or implement the remaining methods. Okay. So let's go like this. We can take all of this. And for right now, we're just going to dump it in here. I'm okay with that. And we need this. And again, this is not the final version of what this is going to look like. It's obviously going to be a lot more clean. We're going to refactor, but right now I just want to get it working. So let's see, we were down here. So this is going to be, this function actually doesn't need to be an attribute anymore. We just need to say logo search query and say this logo search query, and that's a function, not a. Okay, so that's going to reference there. What else do we have? Close these PHP stand issues. Not super concerned about them right now. All right, let's try running this test again. Contains one get logo. Oh, right, because now has logo does not need this function. Okay, so because we broke stuff, I'm kind of expecting this, so that's okay. So call to an undefined method, fetch leagues. Where is it calling? Fetch logos 58. Fetcher. Right, so how are we going to call this? So this season, create new fetcher logo. And all we're going to take in here, I think, actually. How do we want to do this? We want to fetch logo. No. Fetch logo with the season. And so Yeah. So right here, we're basically defining our API, right? So what we really want is we want to say, I want to call a new fetch logo instance, and I want to pass it either a season or a team. And from all of that, I basically just want it to execute all of the logic that fetches the list of leagues or teams or whatever, or the list of leagues, and then do everything behind the scenes here. So really, this should really just be, okay, so this fetcher handle is basically all we should really be caring about, because yeah, and I actually like that. Okay, so a lot of this work that we did last week is probably going to go in the garbage. I'm okay with that, because what we want, because right now this is all very league specific, even though this is just a generic fetch logo function. So we don't care about this right now. In fact, I think I'm going to comment all of this out, and we're going to almost redo all this stuff. We're going to take some of the logic from there, but we're going to do this correctly this time. So what are we saying? We want, so it can fetch logo for a league. And we're only doing this, I'm going to do this for both a league and a team, which is why we're getting specific here. But because all this is really doing is it's almost like a proxy function. And so it's not going to do a whole lot by itself. It's just going to be, so if we go back to the fetch logo thing, right? Like it doesn't care what it's being passed in. It just cares that it has the ability to call a process function and then save this logo. So you know what? I think actually we can just, we can say, I think I'm actually just going to call it public URI, because that's exactly what it's returning. That entire function is always going to be returning a public URI, and that's very descriptive, and I really like that. So we're going to do that. So we're going to say public URI. That's what it's doing, right? We have this public URI function that's going to do all the logic specific to a season or a team or whatever else we throw in there. And then once we've got that URI, we're just going to save it. I really like that. Okay. So it can fetch the public URI for a model that implements has logo. I think that reads perfect. Okay, so I'm not going to create that there. I am going to create it here. And we're going to say season implements the has logo interface, just so that we can refer back to it. Okay, so we now have a season, and we are going to say this fetcher equals new fetch logo season, right? And so fetch logo is now in its constructor. Construct is going to take in a has logo and a model, and this is going to be public for now. I don't think it really matters that much. And because it does construct or promotion, we can go this model, Moodle model. Okay. This model save logo. Okay. So why is that squawking? Right. Because this doesn't matter anymore. URI, right. Has logo. Because we know it's a has logo. Okay, so public URI. Oh man, those are going to drive me crazy. Right. Okay. So when it's constructed, it takes in a has logo model. Then you can call the handle method on it. Right. Okay. So now we want to say this season. And we're going to say this fetcher handle. And what do we want to return from this? Fetch logo. So I think even right now, we're going to just comment that out for right now, and we're going to just return this. We're going to go back to it, but right now I just want to make sure that it's going to get the public URI. It's going to return that back to us. And so we're going to say, expect this fetcher handle to be URL. So let's see how close we get to that. Expect it's probably going to fail, but that's okay. Okay, league must be of type array, null given on line 128. Okay, so let's take a look. So this is where it's taking in this array. So why is it squawking? Has parameter league the most value type? Okay, it's just a PHP stand issue. In fact, I wonder if is there a PHP stand thing that's enabled? I'm going to turn it off for now. PHP stand support. Okay. Because right now, I'm not worried about type safety. I just want to get it working, and then I will go back later with Laristan and actually like add types and do all that checking kind of thing. Okay, so so it's calling the handle method, right? So we want fetch logo. Okay, so it's taking this model, it's constructed, it's running the public URI. So public URI is fetching the leagues. So right now, let's just make sure that we're getting a response here first. Okay, so we got the array of leagues. Okay, and let's go DD this leagues. Make sure those are getting populated. Okay, good. Okay, so it's fetching the leagues and putting them into the array. Okay, and you know what? I think we're going to actually just return this league. Just for ease of use. Okay, and so the league is finding the league using the logo search query. So let's take a look here and say if league is, let's see if it's being found here. Let's be of type int array returned. Oh, right. Okay, so must be a type array, null given. Okay, that's okay. Okay, so is it finding it here? Obviously not. Okay, so for some reason the search function is not working. So let's take a look and say what are we getting as the query? And dump this league. This should be the same thing. I just want to make sure. Right, because it should be randomly generating each time. Okay. In fact, I think that's the problem though. So season, no, fetch logos test. Right, so we need to have it specifically searching for one of those leagues, right? Okay, so factory, so we're going to say create full name Okay, so we actually need to go for league. Now I can never remember the syntax for this, so we're just going to go factories and for model. That's not a lot of search. Belongs to, can we do, okay, so it's just, we just pass the, okay, so we say full name, National Hockey League. Okay, so it's getting there. That's good. Get rid of that DD. Okay, so it's being given a URL, and let's say right now. Dump. I just want to make sure that it's actually getting something real and not just some random URI. Okay. All right, so let's go make sure that this is the NHL logo. The NFL. Interesting. Right, so this, if we just put random things in there, what does this test return? Type array. Right, so why did it find a National Hockey League when that's really the National Football League? What does that fixture look like? Fixture, generic, league. Yeah, so how did it find the wrong one? Okay, so where is that being pulled from? Huh. So this is extremely interesting. Hey, Diana. Hello, Gruner Coder. I'm doing good. Thanks, guys. How are you guys doing? Yeah, so why is that returning the wrong National Football League? Am I just going insane here? Like, National Football League. NFL. Okay, so what if I chose NFL? What is that going to return? Okay, so that gets the NFL. So I think what I'm doing here is because it's been cached, that's always just returning the NFL logo. Okay, so that's fine. I'm okay with that. So we'll just leave this as NFL. So that can be removed. Okay, so we have a URI. It's being fetched. Now what we want to do is we want to say, what do we want to do? We want to, it can save the logo to S3. Function that, okay, and so remove that. That can be like that. And now we can say, okay, so the URI is what's being handled. What we really want, though, instead of the URI, is we want to say expect. Oh, now I'm going to forget the pest convention. So PestPHP. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Get started. Pardon me. So Laravel, is there database ones? I don't think there is. Probably not. We should be able to use the database has this database. Assert database has. Yeah. Okay. So basically, at this point, if we've got the URI, the next thing is we want to assert that after we've run this entire method, that the database has a. Oh, no, actually, we don't even need to check the database. We need to get a fresh version of the season and see if the league that it belongs to now has a logo. Actually, no, we just need to check the season to see if it has a logo. Okay, perfect. Okay, so then we can say expect this season fresh, right? Because we want a fresh copy of it after we've made changes to it by running the handle method. Logo URI, not to be null. Actually, we can say, yeah, and I think we can chain them on like this. So to be URL and not to be null. Okay, so I'm not worried about that. Okay, so right now this test is going to fail because we actually haven't done anything. Oh, because it's in the factory, I betcha. Season factory. Yes, so we don't want to do that. It should be able to be nullable. Right, okay, so it fails. That's what we're expecting. That's good. So at this point, now we just need to implement the logic of the so has logo. So then fetch logo. So now we're gonna take this. We're gonna say public URI equals, and we've kind of done this in reverse, but that's okay. So now we should be able to call a function on each model called save logo, and it should just persist that logo URI to the database. So in this case, we will say okay, so here's the save logo method. And so first thing we have to do is we want to say, we're going to say, how do we want to do this? So like this, save logo to S3 with this public URI. And then what do we want to do? Do we want it to return anything? It should probably return a status. Try catch exception, and we'll just say Do not save image to database. Okay, so then we're going to create this method. Function save logo to S3. So generally, I'd agree. Right now, I'm just kind of like talking about the static stuff. I generally agree. But like I said, right now I'm just trying to get stuff in. I'm going to be spending a lot of time on refactoring this to be a lot more generic. I just want to get it working right now, and then once I've got it working, then we can refactor and make it look a lot better. So this is not the final product by any stretch, I promise. String public URI. Okay, so it's going to save. So we're going to say we're going to make a call. So like this fetch logo with that public URI. No, do we even care about that? No, we just need to go get it and then push it. So I'm just going to say get logo, push it to S3. Okay, so how do we want to do this? I think we're just going to say logo equals HTTP get public URI, right? I believe we can do that like that. I'll get. I don't think we have to do anything special. I think it should be able to. Should just be able to use it as a variable there, and then we should be able to say, I think it's just disk, and what are our disks? Sports team. How do we save them here? Not saving them there. We're saving fetch logo, fetch S3 or something. Fetch logo, save storage. Right. Okay. So here's where I want to take some of the logic from. So to give the some background, I already have this working for the teams. It's just very not generic. It's very specific to the teams. And so I think right now I can just extract or copy some of this. Oh no, do I want to do that? I think I want to make this really generic. Let it pass. Pass a URL. What do I want to do? I want to pass it a URL, and then just trying to think of what I really want, what API I want. So I basically want to take this function, this generic function, and say, I'm just going to pseudocode it out here. So I'm going to say this, whatever it's called, function. And I want it to take so the public URI, the S3 path, and the S3 path includes the league, the year. So for leagues, anyways, it includes the league, and the year. For teams, and then it would just be like logo. You could actually just call it logo.png or JPEG or whatever. For the team, so this is league. For a team, it would be S3 path is going to be the league. I guess this is the season, not the year necessarily, because it could be 2 years. Season and team name.jpg. How do I want to do this? So if this is actually correct, I think it is. So we can basically just call, well, how generic do I want to make it? I want to make it generic. So I think we still need to create this whole thing. So what I'm thinking about is if we just, assume that everything is going to be in the league season, and then whether we're passing logo or team name, but then again, that makes it very not generic. So if we ever wanted to extend it for something else, it's not going to work. So, so I think, how do we want to do this? Yeah, I guess each has logo type is going to need some kind of S3 path generator, right? Public function S3 path generator. That's just going to return a string. So public function S3 path generator. So this is going to be, for this, pardon me, specific model is going to be league full name slash, can't remember what the name of the property is here, so let's take a look. No, there's a, okay, so it's just name. Okay, season name slash league. Oh, actually, we're gonna have to get the league. Okay, so what we really want, we need to get the league name equals league full name, but it's not just by itself. Just want to comment that out for a second. It's going to be a string, and we want it to be in snake. No, camel case. And this will be, league name. This league full name and this name. Okay, so basically this is going to create, league name is going to be, it'll convert something like National Football League to national. And actually, you know what, now that I'm saying this out loud, I think it's actually going to be the acronym. So let's see. Short name, yeah. So it's going to take, if it's NFL, it's just going to make sure that it's NFL kind of thing. Okay, so S3 path generator. So we are going to say S3 path equals this S3 path generator. Okay, so that's those two. And then how do we want to save it? Because again, we're going to be passing it into a function, so it's going to save that. Is it going to return the S3 path? Yeah, it must. In fact, now that I'm saying this out loud, I don't think the fetch logo and save is giving an S3 path. It's generate file name. What is this doing here? So it is, oh, it is. Okay, so it's, okay, so, okay, so let's see here. I'm actually going to copy that because we can actually use it here and just with a little bit of modification. So we're just going to say, so this is the league short name, right, which is what we're using, / start date year. Okay. Team nickname, obviously we don't care about that part. We just care about the file extension. All right, so what do we got? League short name, which is that, this name. Okay, so we're already doing that. So fetch logos and save. Get file extension. Now it's funny, now I'm going back and thinking, should we just genericize this to be a little more or a little less restrictive on the kinds of things it can take? Since we've already got the S3 logic. Ugh. Generate file name. The generate file name would have to be model specific, so we'd extract this one to the team, and then we'd create a similar one like we have for the S3 path generator. Get image and upload to S3, right? Because this is where it's actually storing it in S3. It's checking if it exists already. How do we want to do this? So yeah, right now, yeah. Because yeah, so this fetch logos and save, if we go back here. So this logic here is what puts the stuff into S3. I mean, really, well, let's try this. What if we copy this and call store logo in S3? Okay, and so if we just comment that out. Not worry about the file name here. All this is going to do is it's going to get the image from whatever path and put it in the right place. Now, how do we get the right path? These methods. Okay, I'm going to try something here. This is probably not going to work, and that's okay. Art make test store logo in S3 test. Thanks, Diana. I hope you have a good one too. Have a good night. Ooh, what's going on here? Unexpected variable. Oh. What are we trying to do here? Try to save logo. So that's in the fetch logo. No, that's in the fetch logo test. No, it's in season. Oh my goodness. And we don't really need to catch that. That's not exactly useful there. Okay, so I'm just going to build out a test here. So let's say it can take a public URL. It can store a given logo in S3. Yeah. We're going to say S3 equals new store logo in S3. S3 handle. So we want to basically just give it public URI and an S3 path. We want to assert fake images. We want to assert that there is an image. Assert. I'll have to look up the storage things, but we'll just say assert count. I'm not sure if this is a thing, but storage disk images. Is there a count? No. Exists. Yeah, and so this will be the S3 path. So we'll just say S3 path equals example.jpg. S3 path. Okay. URI, yeah, that's okay. Right. And that, pardon me. Yeah, we're going to basically redo all of this. So it's going to take in a string of a public URI and a string of an S3 path. We're not going to worry about this thing doing any of that. Get image and upload to S3. Right, so public URI. Logo URI. We don't even care about that here. We just care about the S3 path. So all of this is very team specific, so we don't care about any of it. Just get rid of the constructor altogether. Yeah, we're going to delete all this stuff because again, it doesn't help us with what we're trying to do. So if image exists in S3, so do we actually have this backwards here? Yes, we do. Okay, so really this is actually S3 path. I'm gonna make these all symmetrical so it's easy to follow. then S3 path. Okay, so in theory, this should actually just work as is. So public URI. Oh, right, we have to. First, we're going to. No, that's not what we want. We want to import. It's not going to let us import that. We also need to HTTP fake. So it's going to be. Do we have one in here? Probably not, right? Fixtures. Images, Calgary Flames, fine by me. So any call to http example.org/image.png will be served from. Am I from the US? No, I'm from Canada. I'm in Calgary. We're, if you're not sure where that is, we're right kind of at the foothills of the Rockies. So we're basically straight north from Denver, just on the about 100 kilometers or 200 kilometers north of the US border. Yeah. Where are you from? If you don't mind me asking. Oh, cool. About that. Response, load fixture. So we're just going to say file. This is going to be get current working directory. Fair enough. Tests, images. I think this should work. We'll see. We want to go like this. So this is going to be public URI equals that. And then this can be public URI as well. Okay, so now, what is that? What I do for a living? So I do not do Laravel programming for a living. I am currently a senior architect for a very well-known health and wellness brand. I'm looking to get more into development. I'm finding that I really love the actual art of coding rather than just drawing pictures of boxes on them. But yeah, I would like it to be what I do for a living, and so I'm like. I decided actually to set up this channel specifically to get myself more familiar with coding. Like I've coded for a hobby for years and years and years. This is the first project that I'm actually kind of taking a little more seriously though, and so I actually watched a talk by Aaron Francis at Laracon this year, and one of his suggestions was to just be very open and public about what you're doing, and it will help your career. And so I figured, I have this project that I've been working on for I don't know, last 6 months or so. Why not code in public? And so, yeah, so I started the channel, just, I don't know, a couple of months ago or so. And it's terrifying to do something that you're not extremely good at. in public, where people are looking and, laughing potentially, but no, it's been a real, a really good experience. Like the people that have joined the streams have been super supportive and everything. It's great. I'm really liking it. Okay, what was I trying to do? So if we handle that, let's take a look. So P filter store logos in S3. Can load fixtures not found. Where is it trying to load fixtures? Test case 10. Did I delete something by accident? Maybe. I don't think I did. Oh, what happened here? Why did all these move? That and that and that and that. Yeah, none of those should have changed at all. Yeah, I'm curious. I must have dragged something maybe. This shouldn't have changed. No tests found. Okay, start logo in S3 test. What am I missing here? It can store a logo in S3. What am I? Store logo. Ah, okay. There we go. Okay, so theoretically, so if we change, it's just the fact that that works already makes me really nervous. So dump, just want to see what it's coming back here with. Test. Oh, right, because it's not actually returning anything. Let's check something. Is there like a file listing that we can get? Dump. Files. Okay, well, it looks like it's actually getting put there. So, okay. So usually my code doesn't work right the first time, which is why I'm so surprised, but I'll take it. Okay, so we have a class that can, if we call, will take an image and upload it to S3. We just have to give it the URI and the path. Okay. So, okay, it is. Okay. All right. So instead here, okay, so we've got the search query, we've got the path generator. If we go like, uncomment this out, because now this basically works. We're just going to say store equals, oh, and that's what we actually need to also test. Or did we check? Store logo S3 test. Okay, so actually what we want is we also want it to, oh no, we don't need to do that because we already have the S3 path. Okay, so we're going to, don't really need to store this in a variable, but I'm going to do that just for right now. So new store logo in S3. So it's going to take a public URI. It's going to take an S3 path. Then we're going to say this logo URI equals S. Well, I don't have enough experience to say that Americans in general are superior to Germans. I can tell you that I would, if even if I was American, I would be the exception to that rule. I am certainly not more superior to anyone when it comes to programming. I'm very much still a newbie. I enjoy it, but I'm definitely not skilled. I'm all self-taught, and so this is all. I don't want to say it's all new for me, but I am certainly not certainly not an expert. Let's just put it that way. Okay, expression. Yeah, that's fine. We're not saving it, so that's good. Okay, so what do we got? We have S3 path generator, which is going to take that. Oh, right. So that was the thing that we need to figure out is. Now, why were we checking the file extension? I feel like there was a reason for it. So get file extension, get. So S3 path. Oh, right. I look like an expert because I wear glasses. The funny thing is, these are a very, very weak prescription. I wear them more because I like the way they look, and I know that makes me vain, but that's okay. They're fake, just like my knowledge. How's that? Okay, so that should be a interpolated value. And we actually do need to get the file extension here. So again, I think I'm just going to extract that to its own class. These generate file name and file. No, we actually just need this file extension. So we're going to create another test. We're going to say art make test file extension test. File extension test. So we're going to say it can determine the file extension from a given path. Okay, so what do we want to do? We want to say file name equals, or file path, because that's what we're really going to be giving it. File path equals, yeah, actually this is going to be a URI that we're going to give it. So URI equals https example.org/path/filename.png. And so we want to say expect, oh no, I guess we're going to have to say extension equals new file extension from the URI. So we want to expect that extension is PNG. Okay, so obviously that's not going to do anything right now. So if we go p filter equals file extension test, right? No class found. So file extension PHP. namespace is going to be app helpers. And class file extension. Right, and if we're doing this by TDD, let's change the error message. Oh, right, we got to import it. File extension test. Let's put that on the right and hide that. Okay, so import class. Okay, change the error message. Right, call the file. Oh, okay, so yeah, okay. Expect to be to equal, yeah, PNG. So this is going to fail now. Object does not match expected type string. Okay, so. Oh, right. So this is actually going to be handle. So we're going to say construct public string URI, and the handle function is just going to, actually, I'm going to put that there. This is going to be handle. This needs to be public. Ugh. I don't know why pest is not formatting. This is getting kind of annoying. Auto formatting. Okay, so yes, handle. So given a, so equals this URI. Okay, so if this should just return the file extension. This should pass now, I think. Yes. Okay. So that's awesome. Okay, so what we need is we need a store logo in S3. How is this being called? What's the order that this is happening? So not there. What does this has logo interface do? So it needs get logo URI. Okay, so there. Save logo to S3. So we need to pass the public URI here. Because now we have to say extension equals new file extension with the URI. This no longer needs to actually be here because we don't care about it. It's just going to get it. And then, so we got to instantiate it first. Extension handle. Name dot. Yes. Okay, so here's my thinking. Create a new file extension. We pass it this public URI. We have a league. It's going to create the league name. That's going to return that. So new store logo in S3. And we need to say S3 path. Really, we can just go like this, put this up here. Okay, so when the save logo method is called, let's go through this. So First, it's going to generate the S3 path, and it needs the public URI because we need to get the extension. It's going to take the league name, the local league name, change it to camel case. Actually, no, we want it Studley case. We want the extension is going to create a new file extension based on this public URI. It's going to return back the PNG or JPEG or whatever, and it's going to return a full path in S3. So it's going to create the league name, this season's name, and the league name .png. So that's good. Okay, so what do we not need from here? So is there anything we don't need? I think we need this all. Okay, so and we probably should have been doing this from the beginning, but let's go season test. So season, put that on the right. Okay, so it knows how to search for itself, for its logo function that. So season equals season factory create. Sorry, I probably should have been TDDing this whole thing. I didn't. I'm a horrible person, I know, but we're just going to go back and write some tests to make sure that this is going to work. So expect season logo search query to equal season full name. Right, yeah, some of those are not going to be a thing. Okay, so it has a logo URI factory. Example https example.org/image.png. I don't even care about this stuff. Implements that. Okay, I do care about that it implements that interface, but I don't care about that at all. A search for its logo. Season. Why is that not passing? Oh, right. It's going to be season league full name. Okay, cool. So that test works. That's a simple one though. So, pardon me. Now we get into the meat and potatoes of it. So we're going to work on the public URI stuff. So it can find the public URI of its logo. Pardon me. So we're going to say season equals season. And I should probably extract this to a for each or before each, but for right now, don't particularly care. Okay, so we're going to say logo URI equals https example.org /image.png. So actually we can probably copy some of the tests out of that fetch logos test. In fact, we can really just copy this out of here entirely and just switch it around a little bit. Okay, so we're going to make sure that HTTP is imported. It is not. Let's do that. Okay, apparently it doesn't need to be imported. That's fine, even better. And so instead of faking those out, we're going to fake this out. Actually, no, we do need those faked, right? Because first it needs to go there. Okay, so fetch logos test. What am I missing here? Find the public URI of its logo. Right. Okay, so that's what that's going to do. Season. We don't even need to do that. What we need to do is call season public URI. Let's see if this works. Can find the public URI of its logo. File does not exist at path. Test features fixtures generic league. Oh, you know what? I think I deleted those because right. Darn it. Okay. Okay, this is going to take a second. Rapid API. Okay, so we're just going to go. So that is the league. Directory generic. So this is going to have a new file. League.json. And leagues. New file leagues.json. What? Why didn't it? Huh? Why did it not save that? New file leagues. Oh, okay, it did. It just, that's interesting. Okay, so we can hide the file browser. Let's try and run this test again. Undefined variable season, right? Because it should be this season. Not that it really matters which way we're doing it. Okay, public URI must return a relationship instance, right? Because it's supposed to be a function. And we pass. Okay. So fetch leagues should be, we're going to make that private so we don't need to worry about testing that. We don't care about testing that specifically, and we don't care about testing that individually. We're just going to assume that this public URI function is going to be doing all that testing for us because it goes through all of those together. So the next thing we need to do is it can store the logo, the image can store the seasons logo in S3. Okay, so this part is the save logo part. Okay, so we're going to say really blah, blah, blah. And this, we're going to say, yeah, this is where we're going to have to fake out the logo URI. HTTPS example.org/image.png. This is going to be S3 test. Basically, it's really this test altogether. We can literally just copy this same test, just making sure we're calling the right function. Okay, so S3 blah, blah, blah. So we fake out the storage, we fake out HTTP so that it's not actually getting a real HTTP request. So now instead of all of this, what we really want to do is we want to say, so this season equal, this season, yeah, this create, yes, and then we want to say this season public URI this, yeah, this season save logo right? So we have this public URI that needs to be passed to the save logo function. And now we want to assert that this, pardon my bad typing there, this season fresh. So we want to get a fresh copy of from the database. Logo URI. So actually we want to go expect logo URI to be URI. Is it URL? Yeah, URL. Okay. To equal the public URI. Oh, right. Okay, so we can actually say, what do we want to do? We want to say create. Oh, we don't even need to do that because we're saying public URI right there. So we're using this variable. That's going to be the URI. I'm going to save that logo. And to equal, what do we, it should equal to contain. Actually, yeah, I don't even think we need to worry about what exactly it is because we just want to make sure that there is. So at the beginning, we want to expect that to be null, right? This is to make sure that there isn't anything in the logo URI before we run our function. And then once we've run it, we want the change specifically to be that it's no longer null and that it's this URL that it's generated. So now if we go season test, and I shouldn't have done that, but oh well. Okay, so it failed. What did it fail with? Okay, name must return a relationship instance. So what am I missing? Which one am I missing here? So season 133, 122. This. Oh, this is a function, not a property. And yeah, I'm just going to run it from here. store given logo in S3. Okay. Return value must be of type bool, none returned. Okay, so save logo. What do we really want this to return? Do we really want it to return a bool? I don't think so. I don't think it needs to return anything. Because we're not saving it to a variable or anything. I can't imagine that we would need to save it to anything. Logo. Okay. Failed asserting that blank is a URL. Failed asserting that false is true. Right. Okay, so season test 110. Okay, so what is not working here? So if we say S3 path, what is it giving us? Okay, so it's got the years, it's got the season or the league name and the league in the file name. Okay. Oh, right. This save. I swear half the time I code, I forget that I need to save the model. Oh, right, because this. Okay, actually, let's take a look at Table Plus because I want to take a look at something. I'm not sure if. What do we got? Sports teams. So it is a full URI. Okay, so we need to actually pass the path, the entire storage path. Okay, so store logo in S3. So let's go take a look at the old fetch logo, the one that does kind of too much, fetch logo and save. Okay, so return Studley. Right, okay, so really what we need to do is this. So logo URI equals storage, disk, images, URL, S3 path. I don't like that it doesn't have an underscore, so I'm going to fix that. Okay, so why is it complaining? Oh. Wow. Why is that complaining now? Class, facade, yes. Okay, so now this hopefully will work. Start given logo in S3. Oh, right, because when we're local, it's passing a local URL path. Interesting. Okay, we're going to do the cheap way, not to be null. We just want to make sure that something's in there, because if it was null before and we did something and it's got something in there now, we're going to assume that it's correct for now. Okay. What is this squawking about? Expression result is so store. Okay. Whatever. Okay, so let's run the full test suite and see what we've broken. So I did see one failure go by. I'll just wait for this to finish and see what it was. Okay, so failed asserting that blah is a URL. Right, because we're faking it out. So fetch logos test. Okay, so expect URI to be in this model. Right, because we're doing it with the season. So we just want to say return save logo. Right, and so this is no longer returning anything. So do we want to, what do we want to say? I think we should return this path. No, I think what we're going to return, man, save logo. Let's put it back to a bool. Let's say try and return true. And then we're going to catch exception E. DDE, what is it? Get message? Yeah. Okay, so that's back to a bool. Has logo is going to be a bool. Expect URI. So the handle method is returning this path now. So we should be able to, should pass again. One is a URL. Oh, right. Because it's not passing the path, it's passing a bool. So to be true. Okay, so now one more time. Run the full test suite. Have some water. Hopefully, with any luck, this should all pass. And so if this all passes, then it did. Okay, so we now have the functionality to get all these logos, or the few logos, whatever. So really what we can do at this point is that extra space. Okay, so how do we want to encapsulate all of this logic? Or do we want to? No, maybe not. So I think what I want to do is I think at this point we can write a command that will get the logos for the existing ones, the existing models that we have. So art make command fetch missing league logos. So fetch missing league logos. Fetch. Actually, yeah, fetch missing logos. Fetch logos for any leagues that have a missing logo URI property. Okay, so we're going to go. Actually, so this is really fetch any logos for any seasons. And just for anyone who's watching, we went over this in the last episode, but the reason we're putting the league logo at the season level is because leagues have a tendency to change their logos periodically, even if they're just smaller changes. So every season we'll just get another copy of that same image. I'm not super worried about duplication because it's just one image file per season, and this makes it easy for us so that if, let's say, a league changes their logo, we don't have to worry about adding some more logic later to, oh, do we have this latest one or whatever. We can always go back and have the correct league logo for the correct season. So okay, we're gonna say seasons. Oh man, seasons equals seasons. Season. No, we don't want the class. We want to import that. So yeah, season. Yeah, where logo URI null. Get. Okay, so if we just dump this out, it should be all of the seasons that we're tracking right now, which is fine. Art StubSquad fetch missing logos. Okay. I guess. Now is that because they shouldn't have. Yeah, the logo URI. Do I have? Oh, I bet it's like where null. Okay, yeah. Again, what am I doing wrong here? Okay, so season where null, get all of them. There's 2 seasons in the database right now that have no logo URI, so there should be 2. Where null columns logo URI. What am I missing here? I feel like this DD isn't even happening. Or is it? It is not. So let's try fetch missing logos. Okay. Okay, so it was my fig that was auto-completing incorrectly. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so what do we want to do? We want to, for each seasons as season, so what is it? URI equals season. And yeah, you know what? I want to change the has logo interface. So this is just going to say public function fetch logo. Yes. Because at the end of the day, anything that has this idea of a logo, all we care about is that it can fetch this logo. We don't care the methods that it uses to do so. And so if we go back to season now, we are going to have one function fetch logo. It's going to do this public URI equals this public URI, and then This save logo public URI. That's literally all we should need from all this. And what is the problem? Return type must be... Does it even need to be a Boolean? Fetch logo. Save logo is returning a Boolean, so we can proxy that. Okay. Cool. So season, fetch logo. Really, this is all it should have to do. And so I am going to dump the season name and dump season logo URI. Well, if all goes well here, this should fill those two. Okay. Fetch missing logos. Okay, so where did it crap out? Attempting to lazy load name on app model season, but lazy loading is disabled. Okay, fetch missing season logos 34. Right. League season with league. Okay, so this is actually good. It's getting through here. So this is not finding what we're looking for. So let's say DD league. Not finding league. Okay, so what do we need here? We want the DD, this logo search query. Let's just dump that out. Okay, so National Football League. Right, because that doesn't actually exist. Search query. I think what we're going to do is we're going to make this league short name. And then in our search, find league, if league name equals query, or so how do we want to do this? Because query is really that array of things. So if I think is it okay, so what are we looking for here? We're looking for PHP array contains in array. Okay. I don't speak German, so I don't know. Interesting. Okay, in array, so the needle is the first one. So we're going to say, so if in array that and that, right? Why is it array? Oh, yeah. So actually, each league is league if find league. Okay, so this is so this is going to be an array, and so if actually this is going to be a bit difficult. So if in array, so that's the word we're searching for if it's in either of the one we've given it. So actually what we want, and then so in array alternate. Okay, so that's going to be this, the logo search query. And so what we're saying is if in the name or the alternate name is in that query, then I'm not sure if this is going to work. I think it should. Beauty. All right. Okay, so fetch missing season logos. Let's go take a look. Oh, right. Because we did not mark them public, I bet. Darn it. Okay. So we got to fetch logos and save. I'm sure there's like a flag that you have to, oh no. Well, you know what? Let's just see if it'll let us use them. Create season blade. Okay, so current season for league, full name. Okay, so in theory, this should technically work. It's not going to look pretty. Oh, right. Okay, so for each current season. Yeah, so hold on. League current season has many. It's only getting the latest. So really we don't even need to do a for each here, because this is just the season. What is the correct logic here? So there should only be one, so that can just live there. That's fine. For right now, it's whatever. Okay, so image source equals season logo URI alt equals the league logo for the season name season. Okay, so if we go to StubSquad, theoretically, this doesn't break. Inspect. Okay, so it is trying to load it there. My guess is that it's not set to public in AWS or S3, sorry. So let's take a look. Fetch logo. No. Store logo in S3. Okay, so image exists if image blah blah blah. Storage disk put. I thought there was some kind of like flag you had to add to make it work. Okay, just give me 1 second here. Oh, don't go away, OBS. Why is that doing that? Okay, I'm just going to pull this to my other screen here so I can log in without people seeing. Okay, so let's pull this back here. It's 3. Sorry, just 1 sec here. Right. Okay. So well, that sucks that it was creating those tests. We'll have to fake that out. Okay, so I'm not going to worry about that right now. Let's just go into the NFL or the NHL. Let's see. Oh, interesting. NHL 2023. That was back in July, so that was me definitely messing up. Okay, so let's go NHL. What does it think the URL is? 2023, 2024. Yeah, and that definitely does not exist. NHL 2023, 2024. That is why it's not working. What I'm curious about is why I tried to put it there. What about the NFL? I'm sure it's probably the same issue, but NFL. Yeah. Okay, so we can clear that out. And let's figure out why it was getting the wrong location. Okay, so we're passing in the S3 path, storing it, uploading S3 path to S3. Let's take a look at the Laravel log. It's not going to help us. Storage logs. Laravel.log. Okay. Now let's try and run that command again, and it's probably still going to fail. That's okay. Or it's not going to do anything at all. Why is it not doing anything at all? Fetch logo, fetch missing season logos. Okay, so the seasons have nothing in them. So why does it think that? I don't think they have to be like the word null. They should just be empty. Why is that now showing no seasons? Tinker. Season. Where null. Logo URI. Oh, because they're empty strings. Okay, so where null. How do we? There. Okay. So now this should do those. Okay. Yeah, so it's still generating the wrong season name in that path. Okay, so let's take a look at season again. So when it's generating the S3 path, so it's I bet you it needs to just be start year or start date. No, I'm pretty sure fetch save was using. And again, I don't want to use this. Yeah, so it should be this. This should be the path. Stanley. This. Start date year. And really, this should be, we're going to, yeah. So that's Studley. Yes, okay. Okay, let's clear. No. Value null. Value null. Okay, so let's try this again. Okay, so those have files or paths in them now. I don't think they're actually going to work, but at least it's generating the correct path. Okay, so if we refresh this, we're still not going to see an NFL or an NHL. Yeah, I really need to go in there and empty that out. Okay, so, but at least we're getting the right path. Okay, so what is not working here? We're going to star logos in S3. Okay, so get image and upload to S3. So we're giving it the public URI. We're taking that in, and then we are telling it the path. So if it doesn't exist, path. Okay. S3 public URI S3 path. I want to see. Fetch missing. Okay, for now we're just going to do it for all seasons because I know that it's it's going to be all of them every time. So whatever. Season. Oh. Variable seasons. Okay, so it still didn't get down there. So why not? Fetch logo. Public URI. Save the logo. Guess I should actually call it to do something. Okay, so those are the paths, the public URI. Okay, so now we run this. The fact that it's taking longer suggests that it's actually doing some pushing. Okay. Do we have a logo? We do. Looks like garbage, but that's very easily fixable. Okay, so create season blade. So what we really want to do is we want to put these in a flex box. So div class equals flex space x4. Move these up into this div. This is going to be class block, or say height 10 width 10, just to start out, just to see what it looks like, and then we can kind of go from there. Calgary. Okay, actually what we want is this as well. Yes. Pardon me. Okay, so if I have done this correctly, and I probably haven't, that can go there. That can go there. Shrink that down. That needs to go there. And now, by the power of television, we have a logo. I don't like that it's spaced out that far, but that's a very simple fix. Space X2. We now have the logo. Item center. That does not look centered to me. Items. First of all, I want to change that space to 3. Yeah. So I'll just kind of point out what I'm looking at here. So what I'm hoping is that there's going to be a line on the bottom, but it's like the text is higher. And it's like offset by some, there's like some padding or something on the text. Oh, the margin. Okay, so we can move this margin to this. That's better. Okay, so we now have a logo of the league. And so after 4 hours of streaming split between this week and last, we finally have a picture showing up on our website. So I will probably spend some time over the next week if I can find some time to go over this and start refactoring and just making the code a little bit better for the season. But next week I will come back and we will work on using this same interface and our tests for the teams, and then we'll also implement the season fetching for when we ingest a new season worth of stuff. So what do we got? We got write a fetcher to grab that data. That's done. Extract fetch logo class, the season class. Yes, done that. Extract current fetch logo and save. We have not done that. Actually display the logo in the search bar. We have done this. Okay, so let's just put this up here. And then extract blah, blah, blah. Add logo fetcher to new season ingest. Okay. Yeah, I think we've got a lot done here today. We've got it all testable, all tested. I'm just going to run through the test suite one more time while I kind of wrap up here. So yeah, again, I just want to thank you guys for being here, for interacting. This is the most interaction I've had in a stream so far, and it's great. I love being able to kind of chat back and forth while I'm doing this stuff. Yeah, so we got a lot done here today, and it looks like it does not match expected type string. I can go back and fix this. This is just one little thing here. So yeah, I just want to say thank you very much for joining me. I got to go get some dinner because it's 9:15 p.m. here. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great week. I hope you join me next week. And until then, I hope you guys have a great week. Thanks a lot.